It's a fine day today. We started mining for Jinjunmei. Sunny weather is the best weather for picking Jinjunmei. This is the Jinjunmei that can be picked. A bamboo shoot was found on the way to the tea garden. This is the way to my other tea mountain. This water is our drinking water. It's a mountain spring. The sun is coming out. This is my other tea mountain. The altitude is about 800 meters, surrounded by bamboo groves. Jinjunmei is screened with a sieve. The selections shall be made after screening. This is a very strict requirement. It's the weekend. In the busy farming season, Master Fu's daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter will return to Lijiatang to help pick tea. For people who live in the city, it's a great time for vacation. They're the only people, 0.001% of the population can enter the reserve. And the luckiest people in the world. The dog is giving a warm welcome. We are getting ready to pick tea. It's a nice view in the morning. Just shot it with a drone. The mist ran up. It's like a fairyland on Earth. It's a bad day to pick tea. It began to drizzle on the hill before we reached it. This is the way the weather is. It's drizzling down here. It's all one time. This is the way the climates are. After a while, the sun came out again. After a while, it rained heavily again. Now we're on our way to the hills to pick tea. It's at least an hour's walk. It's a little far. We started walking up the hill. The mountain is still far away. This way to this tea mountain is the best. There's already a man-made road. This mountain is called Qiling. Qiling is a big mountain range connected with Wuyi Mountain up to the Jiangxi province. The altitude is over 1,300 meters. The tea garden is about 800 meters high. Mainly alto, two groups of Daoshui tea mountain. I planted a lot of tea trees when I was in groups. Rice fields were later converted into tea plantations. The total area of the tea mountains is about 300 mu. During the contract period, Li Jiatang was allotted 30 mu. Master Fu's family was allotted 8 mu. The main road is over. Now we're taking the path. My dog's here too. Zhuang is very powerful. It came here earlier than we did. The first group came along with the workers. The reserve is full of mountain springs because of the abundance of vegetation. On the top of the hill are primeval forest and broadleaf trees. Moso bamboo and tea trees grow halfway up the mountain. Near the village is called a testing area. Bamboo for villagers to manage production of tea and living needs. As long as there's small pits in the mountains, there will be spring water. Small ditches will form when it runs down the mountain. There's a stream down there, and it will form a river. The villagers drank from the mountain spring water. They need to find a more remote source of water to lead to the village with a pipe and lead to every family. Villagers can drink directly from mountain spring water. Because the water itself has evolved naturally through the mountains, it contains a certain amount of minerals, quality water, so that Zhengshan tea has a rich content. Zhuang kept rolling, always rubbing against the ground. I think it's itchy. Pluck the Jinjunmei. This is the bud. Take it off at the bottom like this. This is the raw material of Jinjunmei. Pluck the Jinjunmei and hold the bottom of the buds. Lift the whole liquid leaf stem and pull it up. If it's not intact, they come loose when rolling. This tea mountain is a kind of tea, also known as the qizong. It is the main raw material for making traditional Zhengshan small black tea. It is also the raw material for making Jinjunmei and white tea. Jinjunmei is made of a small vegetable tree. Although there's not much fragrance, but it's very archaic. it tastes more authentic. In the video that follows, we will introduce the varieties of tea in Zhengshan. The speed of plucking the Jinjunmei is slower than picking Shaoqigan, almost several times slower. How many years has this tea hill been here? The teas last for 50 or 60 years. It was planted in the old days. At noon, the family sat around the tree for lunch. Take a nap under the tree after lunch. It's the most extravagant sleep in the world. Master Fu's granddaughter, Chen Ziyi, is 10 years old. She lives with her parents in Jinyang City. On holidays or weekends, she would visit her grandparents in reserve. 10-year-old Ziyi is very easy to learn. She asked Grandpa what he did. When she saw the tea-making equipment, she asked Grandpa the use of these tea-making equipment, how to use these devices. This year, she offered to pick tea up from the mountain. Now, the work is over. Enjoy the scenery of the World Natural Heritage sites along the way. Pick up some wild vegetables and herbs and go home. They're 0.001% of the world's luckiest people. Access to protected areas. Here are some bracken. This wild vegetable is edible. Qingming festival around a lot of. This one is too old. This leafy one will grow old. The leaves grow old. There are two down here. You can eat it before it blooms. This is just the beginning. We will pick the ferns when they grow up. That's not enough for a plate. Let's find some more. There are many wild vegetables beside the tea tree by the road. Our name is Yue. And a little Shaoying vegetables. Many wild vegetables are on the hill. There's one here. Should not be too old. A little old, you can't move. Look at this, it won't move. It's old, and the leaves are coming out. I wonder if I can eat this plant. I wonder if I can eat this part. I think it's still tender. You can still eat this. The weather over here, it's cloudy and sunny and rainy. The altitude is high here, and the weather changes a lot. Now the sun is out again. It was still cloudy. This isn't pot herb. They look alike, but they're not pot herbs. Looks like wild vegetables, but it's not edible. This is a man picking tea for a day. Yeah, all alone for a day. There are two batches today. Some workers went to Laeshan, some workers went to Zhengshan. This bud is beautiful. Every hill, every dog in the house will follow. Zwang Zwang is a stray dog collected by Fu's in-laws. It's inconvenient to feed in the city. The granddaughter likes the dog very much, so he went to his grandparents' house to feed them. Zhengshan is 5 years old this year. Our village has found a girlfriend. He ran up the hill with the puppy. 2 puppies were laughing and frolicking in the tea garden with his girlfriend. This is a temple. On the way to pass Zhengshan, we'll pass by Zhengshan Temple. This is the only temple in Lijiatang. The old people in the village will come here for the 15th day. There is no one in the temple on weekdays. There is an annual temple fair on the 13th of May every year. The whole village, Fushifu family, 4 brothers and the other 2. 6 families are Catholic. There is no church in the village. There is a Catholic church in Huangkeng town. They go to church there on Sunday. Their forefathers and grandfathers were Catholic. Because they lived in Datulan at the time, many missionaries went there to preach. Because of Master Fu's belief, so there's faith in making tea. Master Fu invited 4 tea growers to pick the Jinjunmei today. Because it's a piece of wild vegetable tea, so it germinates later. 4 people picked more than 3 jin of tea a day. The bud head that picks back to make Jinjunmei is sieved with a sieve to facilitate the sorting of buds. The ones above the sieve are manually sorted. Below the sieve is the complete bud. No need to pick up. Being a Jinjunmei girl is very strict. Do a good job of Jinjunmei tea stem. If there are leaves and impurities in it, it's not easy to sort out. Strict sorting prior to fabrication. It's not the same as other black tea. Other teas have leaves. The sorting process is relatively easy. The sorting is usually done after the production. Pick out all the leaves. Leave the bud behind. Jinjunmei is so expensive. Not even a single leaf. The top grade of black tea is Jinjunmei. Its output is very small. It's made from a single bud, made of a bud. The ones we usually drink. I don't think it's true. The usual stuff we drink is probably not true. I don't think it's true. This old tree is a bit big. This is a wild tea with bamboo forest.